Hey there, and welcome to my video game tips and tricks video. Today I'm going to tell you how to play the game and how to be the best at this game. Wait, what's that? There's already 100 million of our video game tips and tricks video? Wait, what's that? You already know everything? Well, howdy do! I guess there was no point in making this video game tips and tricks video. Anyway, this was my video game tips and tricks video. I hope you got something, anything out of this. Really, what's the goddamn point? Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So, video game tips and tricks videos. To be honest, I've wanted to make a few tips and tricks videos myself. I've come up with a few ideas and had a few videos planned. Titanfall, Warframe, Evolve, tips and tricks. But every time I got around to actually making one, I ended up scrapping it. Mostly because of a few reasons. Those reasons being, 1, there are YouTube channels out there that are dedicated simply to tips and tricks, and then there are the YouTube channels that are specifically dedicated to a particular game, and they're going to have a tips and tricks video. Since I'm not originally a tips and tricks channel, and there are other video gaming channels, and video game specific channels that dedicate themselves to tips and tricks, then it's kind of pointless for me to make a tips and tricks, because, well, they've already been made. The tips and tricks are already out there, and I would just be repeating them. And it's not all about, oh, gotta get there first. There's some genuine video game players out there that dedicate themselves to playing a game, learning its ins and outs, and seeing what will help them and what will help others, whether it be single player or multiplayer games. So, point is, unless your channel is like really dedicated and already established as a YouTube channel that does tips and tricks, there's really no point in doing tips and tricks yourself if all the tips and tricks have already been repeated and you have nothing new to share. If you have something new to share and you haven't seen anyone else talk about this tip or this trick, feel free to share it with everyone. But for the most part, with most games out there, the information is already out there. Me making a tips and tricks video on Titanfall, Warframe, and Evolve wouldn't be much. It wouldn't mean much. I don't have anything new to add. The only thing I could possibly add is stop being a negative Nelly and enjoy the damn game. But that's besides the point. I can understand some people asking me to do tips and tricks videos. I can understand myself being tempted to make tips and tricks videos. But that would just lead to me oversaturating the market with something that's already been done before by professionals who dedicate themselves to tips and tricks. Now, another reason I find tips and tricks videos to be pointless is, well, most games nowadays tell you everything you need to know. I've got people asking me, how do I play Warframe? Play the tutorial, read the tutorials, they're all right there. I got people asking me how do I play Titanfall? There's a tutorial right there. I got people asking me, how do I play Evolve? There are not one, but 2 tutorials and an entire section of the game, a video gallery dedicated to telling you effective ways to play all the characters. In the day and age we live in nowadays with dumbed down and spoon-fed video games and gamers, I admit I am one of them. I am a dumbed down gamer. I am spoon-fed. I play all my video games on easy difficulty. I am a scrub, and I will happily admit that. I do not have the patience, the endurance, or the tolerance to play a game like Contra, one of the older Castlevanias, or older Legend of Zeldas. You know those really, really hard old-school classics that used to kick gamers' asses? And those gamers eventually learned from the games and mastered them and became badasses at the games? Yeah, I could never be one of those. And game developers realize the change in generation and people's attention spans and abilities. While yes, there are the hardcore competitive gamers that can play everything on the highest difficulty, there are others like me who prefer to play casually. I'm a casual and a hardcore at the same time. It's really weird. For me, at least. And therefore, game devs nowadays give you a bunch of tutorials. They put tips and tricks in the damn games. Hell, the tips and tricks are in the loading screens. This has been going on for years and years with tips, tricks, and hints in the loading screens of our games. So why make a tips and tricks video on a video game when the tips and tricks are already in the video game? Alright, so let's go over this again. Why make a tips and tricks video game YouTube video when everyone else has already done it? Or professionals have already done it, at least. And why make a tips and tricks video game YouTube video when the tips and tricks are already in the game itself? Now, there's one more reason I find it almost pointless to make video game tips and tricks videos. And that's, well, where's the fun in that? Now, I can understand if you are struggling in a game, especially if it's a competitive multiplayer game. I can completely understand for a competitive multiplayer game why you would look up tips and tricks. But any other type of game, especially a single player or maybe an open world game, an RPG perhaps. Then again, almost every game nowadays is an RPG, so scratch that. I'm just saying, there are particular types of games that really shouldn't have tips and tricks videos, because they're about the experience. Video games have always, for the most part, been about the experience. And how do you experience experience? By experiencing it for yourself. Not looking up how to play the game and learn it yourself. Let me give you an example. I have recently started playing Smite, and I'm fairly enjoying myself. And not once have I looked up a single damn tips and tricks video. One, because, well, the tips and tricks are already in the game. But actually, for the most part, I haven't looked up any tips and tricks videos about Smite, and this is a competitive MOBA, because I want to learn for myself. I want to try out these different characters. I want to get used to their moves, their abilities, and the different tactics that maybe I should try out with them. Try out my own tactics with them. See which ones work, see which ones don't. Sure, I may fail. Sure, I may lose. But hey, that's not just video games. That's life. You win some, you lose some, and you learn from it. You see what works, you see what doesn't. Real life example here. Being an asshole doesn't net you a lot of friends, while being friendly, such as myself, nets you a lot of friends. Being an asshole doesn't work for getting friends. Being friendly gets you a lot of friends. I didn't need a tips and tricks video on life to learn that. I learned that myself through my experiences, and quite frankly, I think that should go with video games. I don't want to look at someone else tell me how to play the game. I'll play the game however I want to play the game. I'll learn from my own mistakes in the game and get better in my own way. I'm glad I haven't looked up any tips and tricks on how to play Smite, because I'm learning and enjoying Smite in my own way, in my own experience. I don't want to try and copycat someone else's experience. I want to experience my own experience in an interactive entertainment experience, which is video games. Now, before I close off the video, let me say, I have no problem with tips and tricks videos. I welcome them. I'm just saying why, well, quite frankly, why I'm not doing tips and tricks videos. Why I personally find tips and tricks videos to be almost pointless. They're not pointless. They're almost pointless. If you love tips and tricks videos, if you get a kick out of them, if you really enjoy them, if you love them, good for you, man. Awesome. I'm cheering you on. I'm just sharing my personal opinion, my personal perspective, and it doesn't overwrite or conflict with yours. We're all friends here, eh? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment. I'd love to know, what are your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on tips and tricks videos on video games? What do you think of my opinion on video game tips and tricks videos? I'd love to hear your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below. Please write a comment. Please leave a comment. I love reading comments. I don't get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. And if you like the video in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video if you hit the like button. And finally, I am the Gamertron. I love video games, and I love talking about video games, and if that's something that might interest you, maybe consider supporting my channel by subscribing to me. Anyways, guys, this has been a video, and I will see you guys later.